Okay, Bill, I'm going to make a video for you. Making quite a bit of progress. I'd like to show you. Got all kinds of hardware from McMaster Car, similar to the stuff that you had. But we had a bunch of outages, so I bought this steering arm from Speedway Motors. It's an actual Total Performance part. That's when Speedway bought out Total Performance, they got all these parts. So this is like they call it a garage sale item. So I bought the hardware for this, and this is just a Delrin spacer that I made because I didn't like the way this rod end would interfere with the steering arm. Actually, these spacers are not really made for this. These spacers were made, those are the ones I made for the rear to clear the, so the calipers would clear the disc brakes. So I just put them in here temporarily for now. I'll probably make one out of brass or something like that. Actually, Delrin's probably not a bad idea either. What else? Okay, so this here is pretty close. I almost want to buy something another, quarter inch longer for that, just so that it sticks past the threads right there on the steering arm. I had bought hardware for the spring perch, but when I measured it, the spring perch wasn't fully seated, so I got the bolts hardware that was actually too long, so I got to order some more. That's probably a quarter inch to a half shorter. Got the new steering arm right here. That's the new steering arm right there. Radius rods, I got all the jam nuts. Before we didn't have any jam nuts, so I bought all those, just put them on tonight. What else? Both sides. We did a good job on this, by the way, because everything fits super nice. Everything really fits well. Acorn nut from the old stock. I still have to do the this Pitman arm right here. This is actually just a 7/16 bolt going through here. This is actually has a tapered hole in it. When it was in the Corvair, it was a tapered bolt, or I don't know, a tapered something that went in here. So I'm just going to take it to work and bore it out. Unfortunately, I got to bore it to bigger than 1/2 inch, which kind of sucks. So I'm thinking of over boring it and then press fitting a bushing in there so that I can use 1/2 inch hardware. Like I said, that's 7/16 right now. It's kind of cheating. What do I got here? Okay, the master cylinder. I put the proper hardware in there. All 1/2 20, 3/8 24, and yeah, so all fine pitch stuff I put in, just like you had started, I think, when you bought a bunch of stuff. All fine pitch. So that's that fits good now. And you can see here we get nice clearance back there. Before there was actually no clearance here. I couldn't even get this in. So what I did is I just made this bracket here. This bracket, it just extends forward. Another interesting point is that these slots here on the original bracket, which is under here right now, these slots actually went horizontally. And when I was making this plate here, I was thinking about it, and I'm saying, wait a minute, fore and aft adjustment I don't need. That's a function of where the engine is, so I'm sorry, side to side adjustment I don't need. It has to be in the middle, so it shouldn't have any side to side adjustment. It should go in the middle, but fore and aft you never know. So I changed the slots from 2 horizontal ones to 2, we'll call them vertical ones, and I just bolted them down with some M6. I'd like to have this actually welded, but for now this actually feels really good. So you'll notice though that this is like an 1/8 inch plate, sits on top of this here, so essentially it's going to raise the back of the transmission up. So what I did was, when I drilled the new holes, these holes here, let's see if we get better light here, I actually made a template that went into the old holes. There's another one right actually exactly midway in here, midway between these two bolts. There's another hole in the frame right there, from the old mount. Because I moved this thing back 0.75 inches. I made a template that screwed into the old holes and drilled the new holes in place down 1/8 of an inch to compensate for raising the back of the transmission up with this plate here. So hopefully it'll be perfect. Got my rear end in. Just mocking up. That's just the center section is only in there just to hold the axles so they're not sagging. You can see the Watts link. I got all this from Speedway, and of course, it's all Total Performance stock, and Total Performance fucked these up because it's everything is right-hand thread on this side, right-hand thread on that side. So turning this doesn't do anything. It doesn't do any adjusting. It just moves it back and forth. Plus, they advertise this as being threaded for 1/2 inch right and left, and so I bought 1/2 inch right and left rod ends. Thing comes in, it's 7/16 right hand both sides, so I had to get all new rod ends for this. So 7/16 right hand, 7/16 right hand. Shock mount. I actually made this piece here up today because I didn't have the old one. The old one was gone. And this here is actually Delrin, believe it or not, because I didn't have any steel. This one here was steel. So I put the steel one, I still had that piece. And then I made this up new. I had to make 2 of them. I made this one new, and of course I fucked it up because then when I was drilling it out, I was drilling too fast, and Delrin plastic grabs the drill, and this thing spun in the drill in the lathe. So, yeah, it's not pretty, but so what? Eventually I'll make these out of steel. Bought all grade 8. This is actually a different bolt. The one we had was just a little bit shorter than this, so I got one that was a little bit longer because I want a minimum of 3 threads sticking out. Got some grade 8 nuts. These are the old nuts that you got way back when. Still the old stud going through there. I'm going to replace that with one that's a little bit shorter. And here's my disc brakes. Still haven't exactly figured it out yet, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. You've had it apart a bunch of times. I've got clearance now. You can't really see it here. I got clearance now. Those brass is just spacers that are mimicking the end cap that holds the seal. Those actually just mimic what this thing here does, which eventually was going to have the axle seal in it, I believe. I'm still waiting to get my Lincoln Versailles shop manual so I know exactly how the rear end axles go in on this thing here. I forget what it was like when we took it apart. I know we did a lot of machining of some stuff. So anyway, this is really, it's solid as a rock right now. This thing is really, it's together now. I got the motor mounts. I had to buy, I only have one here, so I had to buy another pair. More stuff. Some, fuel, brake line. Those are my motor mounts in there. I got an extra Kingpin kit from Speedway. They had some stuff. Total Performance stuff. It's my hardware, some of my new hardware. The old toolbox. More hardware, all from McMaster-Carr. Stuff's cheap, believe it or not. So, yeah, and then the wheel studs. And that thing is spaced out about 3/4 of an inch right now is what it's going to take. So I got to make out my wheel spacer. I'll probably do that soon. I just haven't figured out my strategy for that yet. So maybe I'll consult you on that too. I'm sure I will. We're going to have to do that together. All right, so that's it for now, I guess. I think I thought I had another. No, well, I do actually. I have a steering. I have a rod for that Corvair box. I bought some seals for the Corvair box too. So everything's coming together. Looking good right now. I feel pretty good about this. So Anyway, thought I'd show you my progress. I know you'd like it. So, doesn't look like it's changed much, but it actually has changed quite a bit. I think it's really, really solid right now. Everything's almost exactly the way I want it. And like I said, we did a really good job putting this thing, making the parts for this thing. This thing went together, it goes together really nice. So, looking good, Bill. And talk to you soon.